Hiya, welcome to Craftwerk. I'm Ruthie and today I'm here to do my smiley challenge video. First of all, I wanted to just say please excuse the voice and the appearance. I'm just getting over a cold at the moment, so yeah. If I sound a bit stuffy, that's why, but this is like literally the last day I could film this video, so I'm here, I'm doing it, I'm committed. So if you haven't heard of the SMYLY challenge, it stands for Sewing Makes You Love Yourself, and it was set up by some sewing vloggers. They are called, one second, Athina Kakou, Hattie Van Der Krohn and Kisch. Sorry if I have butchered anyone's names, I will link to their channels down below anyway. But yeah, it's been a great challenge and I've really enjoyed watching people's videos and reading their blog posts and their Instagram posts about sewing. The idea of the challenge is to talk about mental health, body image and sewing and how they're kind of like related, how they affect each other, and to share your personal like sewing story. Now, first of all, I need to preface this with a trigger warning. I will be talking about mental health, and B, to say I'm not necessarily going to be sharing anything too personal, I hope. I'll probably edit anything out that I do share that's too personal. I tend to be a bit of an oversharer, but I'm not quite ready to do that too much on YouTube. I'm going to talk about these separate things and kind of talk about how my personal experience with them and with sewing, rather than sort of give you a chronological sewing story, because I might do that in another video anyway. And yeah, I have so many thoughts about this and I was struggling to kind of organise my thoughts, and I really didn't want to just put out a video that's just me waffling on and on. So I have made a few notes, I hope you don't mind, but yeah, hopefully it will be relatively coherent, but let's see, here goes. So yeah, let's talk about body image first. Now, there's a number of ways that I feel sewing has improved my body image and has a positive impact on people's body image. The first way that is it has taken me out of high street shopping. Sewing has allowed me to remove myself from that environment, from that toxic situation of trying on clothes and them not looking like how they look on the mannequins or how they look on the staff in the shop or the catalogues or the online images. So yeah, always hated that environment, and to remove myself from that environment was really important for my personal body image, but also that relates to mental health, which I will talk about in a minute. Try not to cross them too much, just so there's a little bit of a structure, but obviously they're very heavily related. The next way that it really helps with my body image is that it makes me realise, and has made me realise, that clothes fitting is more than just about size. So there's a lot more to your body than fitting into these specific parameters set out by the fashion industry and the high street fashion industry. We all know that different shops have completely different ideas of sizes anyway, so we're told that we fit into these little categories, and then not even the high street shops follow those categories. It was so difficult for me to find something that fit me, because something would be too big here and too small there, and I wouldn't see it like that. I would just see like, that size is too small, I'll have to go up a size. And it wasn't necessarily that the size was too small, it's just I wasn't that specific body shape, and so clothes weren't fitting me. And yeah, I think sewing helps you to recognise that it's more than just about sizes. You do still have sizes with patterns. It's important to remember that and for us to discuss that a little bit, because there are pattern companies where the sizing is a very small range. And there are also pattern companies where, yeah, the sizing differs depending on the pattern companies as well. So whilst you can alter it and stuff like that, like very few of us fit the pattern straight out of the packet, and when we do, it's like, wow! And sometimes you realise that pattern company, maybe the person that they're fitting to start with is a very similar shape to you, and then you tend to like be quite loyal to that pattern company because you know that you don't have to do too many adjustments. So you still get into a similar cycle, but you can move away from it, and it doesn't mean just because it doesn't fit you out of the packet, it doesn't mean you can't wear that piece of clothing, which is a wonderful feeling, and it opens up so many options for you, and you start to realise that it's about the fit and it's about your personal style. It's not about the shape necessarily. I always think that actually if you like something, if you can sew it, then you can make it work for you as long as you feel comfortable in it and you enjoy it, because the idea that we should be restricted by our body shapes and fit into certain categories because of our body shapes when all our bodies are so different is completely debunked by sewing, which is such a freeing thing, and it's so good. And that leads into understanding and appreciating your own body. So there's certain parts of your body that you start to think like, actually I like that about my body, and yeah, it is so much more than just about size. It's about like exactly where that curve is, or where that line is, or you know, where everything will sit on your body. It gives you so many more aspects, and they're not things to pick at or like hate, they're things to just appreciate and to use with the fitting. And also you learn more skills as well, like things like full bust adjustment or a full bum adjustment is much more common for me to have to do. Having those things has actually meant that I have to have more skills in order to fix those aspects, which is great. The idea that your body has like taught you something about clothes and about sewing, personally I really love that. And then also within body image, the last point is the sewing community is so diverse and it is so supportive, and there's no one that will ever say that's not flattering on you or that doesn't work. You know, they're so encouraging. The amount of different people, different body shapes, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different ages that are sharing and talking about their sewing is just incredible, and it really does help you to appreciate different parts of your body. It helps you to appreciate different skills, and it helps you to appreciate everyone else's body as well and look at people's bodies in a different way. So the next bit is mental health. As I said before, I don't want to go too personal on this, and that is partly because I have suffered from mental health issues and I deal with them in a number of ways. No one is suggesting, I think, that sewing is a answer to these things, but there are ways in which sewing has helped me with my mental health. The first way, obviously, we've already talked about how it can help you to have a better body image, which obviously helps with self-esteem and helps to start to debunk some of those negative thoughts that you might have. The second one is probably the most important thing for me, is that it helps me to escape my thoughts. So it is an action that I can do, that I can focus on, that requires me to give it like full attention, really. Yeah, and sort of allows me to focus on that and not think about anything else. I can't just sit and watch the telly because I get thoughts that are intrusive. I start feeling anxious about things that I should be doing or could be doing or whatever. I can never kind of just sit still and relax. If I do, I nap, which is great and useful and enjoyable. I love a nap, but yeah, it's not necessarily always possible. So yeah, sewing is one of those activities that is really useful for me to have, to be able to do that whilst my partner's watching telly and I'm sort of half watching telly, or just to do if I really need to escape my thoughts. It's not just like a passive thing that you do, because at the end of it you have a product of your hard work. The sense of achievement from making something cannot be underestimated. I honestly think that being able to make something does amazing things for your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and yeah, especially for me, because one of the things I struggle with is being too hard on myself. So to feel like I've made something that I love is yeah, wonderful. It's something to feel proud of. In so many aspects of our lives, it can feel like you're just treading water, you're not getting anywhere, or you aren't producing anything useful, for example. But to create anything, to create an item of clothing, yeah, the sense of achievement with that is just so important to me. The confidence that it then gives me as well with other things that I might struggle with activities or social events that might be difficult for various reasons, to be able to do those things in something that I have made that I feel proud of, and to, yeah, go out the house wearing something that I have made with my own two hands. You can't underestimate what that can do for a person. Yeah, I think that for me, that really is the main way that it has helped with my mental health, is the sense of achievement and the pride that I feel in a lot of the things that I make. Because, like, as well, if someone compliments something that you're wearing, normally that's a great, lovely thing. But if you've made it as well, and the great thing is they're more likely to compliment it because they haven't seen it before, because it's new. So they're more likely to be like, wow, I love that dress, or I love that top, because they have not seen it. And then you get to say, thanks, I made it. I love the fact that I have this skill, and it is a wonderful skill, and it's a skill that can keep evolving, and it is a skill that has taught me so much about myself, and it is a skill that has brought me a new and wonderful community, because the sewing community, as I've said, is really encouraging, it's really supportive, it's really diverse. That's the final way, yeah, where mental health is improved by my mental health is improved by sewing, is because, yeah, being part of this great community is just inspiring and life affirming. The last part of the challenge was to make something that makes you feel great, I think is what they said. Oh, actually I think they said beautiful specifically. We're a long way off at the moment, me being able to make something that makes me feel beautiful, but what I have made is something that makes me feel cheerful. But yeah, if you saw my last video, you would have seen my first Cali shirt, which I absolutely loved. It's a pattern by Closet Case, and oh my god, I love this pattern. I'm totally obsessed with it. And this time I have made it in something that's been in my stash for a long time, and this fabric, I'm kind of sad it's not in my stash anymore, because every time I looked in the drawers and saw it, it would make me smile, and I'd go, oh yeah, that fabric, I must do something with it. I bought it on a bit of a whim at the end of last summer, just because it was really pretty. It was in Rolls and Rems in Lewisham, and I think they said it's a cotton viscose blend. It certainly feels like a very soft cotton. It's definitely not 100% cotton, but it does feel like a cotton. Either way, it's really nice, it's really soft, it's got a good drape to it. I think this is going to be lovely in the summer, and it is so nice to have in my wardrobe now to remind me that spring is coming. And especially living in London, living in the UK, it is very easy to get a little bit down about the weather, because it can be so dreary and we don't get anything brilliant like snow, or we certainly don't get a lot of it, especially not in London and the southeast. We've been in a constant drizzle for about a month now, so there have been some sunny days, I'm exaggerating. I'm super happy with this, and it definitely makes me feel brilliant and reminds me why I love sewing as well, because I've not seen this shirt around, but it really is like my perfect shirt, especially it'll be my perfect summer shirt. Yeah, it's very bright and cheery and it's very much my style. So yeah, that's my SMYLY video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I haven't waffled too much. Everyone should look after their mental health, and sewing is a great way to look after your mental health, because my main point with this is that, okay, sewing might not make you love yourself, but sewing is loving yourself. Sewing, for me, is an act of self-care. It is something that I do for myself, to make myself feel better. It's something that I choose to do that is for me, and totally for me. Yes, sometimes I make people things, or yeah, I make things for a specific reason, but for the most part I make things for myself, and that is so important to me because, yeah, self-care is very important, and yeah, sewing for me is an act of self-care, because of all the things that I have just mentioned. So I don't know if any of you feel the same, if any of you can relate to some of the things that I've talked about. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I also wanted to thank you for the support on my last video, not my last video, but the video before. I actually recorded those two together, which is why I didn't mention it in my last video, but the video about the sewing struggles, I totally didn't expect that to go as crazy as it did. For me, that's a lot of views on one video in a very short space of time, and yeah, loads of comments. Thank you so much for your amazing comments. There's some incredible like tips on there, but there's also some, yeah, people being so positive. I was very nervous about posting that video because it is a little bit contentious. I was being a little bit cheeky, and I was worried people wouldn't get what I meant. There were a few comments, but the vast majority were overwhelmingly positive, and I didn't expect that response at all. I was trying to be funny, I was trying to be very honest, because yeah, in this video I've talked about all the brilliant things that sewing can do for you, but that doesn't mean to say that it's always just this wonderful walk in the park, this big like love affair. As with everything in life, sewing does have its downsides. It does also have its side effects that, you know, can be bad or can be good as well. And it's kind of like, I just felt like it was worth talking about, partly because I know that sometimes when I just see people talking about how brilliant sewing is, if I'm going through a period where I'm feeling like, but it's so expensive and frustrating, I can't afford all the things that I want, and I can't make anything good at the moment, I think it's important to see that other people sometimes struggle as well. So that's why I made that video. You can see, I wrote a blog post about it, so you can see more. It's linked in the other video, and there will be an accompanying blog post to this as well. Yeah, so do check them out, that's all in the description. And also don't forget to go and follow me on Instagram and Facebook, where I'll be sharing more like behind the scenes stuff. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers, and it would absolutely make my year if if I got to 1,000. I so appreciate every single one of you. I can't believe that you want to see more of my videos. I just blows my mind. So yeah, thank you so much, and I hope to see you again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.